Hello friends, this is Barbara Wiley with Barbara Wiley Art, and today we're going to be painting this daisy picture. We're going to be painting this on this is a little bit larger canvas, but we're going to be painting the larger daisy and the little half bloomed out daisy. Now to begin with, what you need to do is to get some green, colors of green, it doesn't matter which, and get a larger brush, probably more like this one here, and just start making X's with the two colors of green all over the canvas, and then some swirls until you get the whole thing covered as well as all the sides. Make sure you have some darks down here at the bottom and a little bit of light up here at the top. Now, you can also put in some yellow, as you see that I put in on this one. This one's a really, really abstract background, on which I painted a really pretty daisy and a half daisy over here. One of my more popular paintings. People like this when they like the way I did the daisy. Now there's a trick. Do you see how this daisy's center appears to be standing up? That's done by painting the dark around the corner and that C right there underneath of it. And then you put the lighter yellow up on top. And then you can just do some green in the middle if you want to. But we're going to start with the yellow, and we're going to paint the center. Just paint the center yellow to start with that. And we're going to use several different kinds. I started out with a yellow that's okay, but not the greatest. But we're going to go with it. This one's a little bit hard, but it just takes a little bit of time. Cover the whole circle. I put a circle here, about this far down, about this far from the side, and I put another little half circle up here at the top. That's where our daisies are going to be. So I'm doing the first daisy, and I'm kind of filling it in, and I'm kind of dotting it on because it doesn't want to go on the canvas real well. I put a lot of paint on the background, so that could be the reason. And I'm going to put in a little bit of white. That'll help. Let's see if that doesn't help. That seems to help a bit. But we can go back over that a little bit. But that just gives us a starting point for our daisy. And we're going to rinse off our brush. And what we're going to do is take a little round like this, get some water on it, and we're going to go into our yellow ochre, and we're going to go right up underneath like in a C. Right up underneath of it. And that will help raise that daisy up to a new height. So I've already done the background, and it's all dry. It's been dry a long time. So now I'm painting that part. So I'm going to dry that real quick. It's going to be just the first layer. reason I dried that is because I want to try to get back into that if I can. I'm going to see if I can. There we go. That's looking a lot better. The second coat is really helping. It's really, really bright, really bright yellow. So when you're doing the background on this canvas, it doesn't matter how it comes out because this is just a totally abstract background. I'm just going to go ahead and do the half daisy, the half center on this one over here. While I'm at it, put the first coat on that, and then just leave it until I'm ready to come back. But that'll just give me a place and time for that. And I want to get back with my little round brush. And I want to get into the yellow ochre. And go around again with the yellow ochre. This may take a couple of tries at it, and that's okay. Now, you don't have to have the center smooth as silk. It doesn't have to be smooth because the centers of daisies are not smooth. They're just not. They're full of little green bumps. All right, we're going to leave that just the way it is for right now. And we're going to dry that. So I'm going to get this one with the red handle again. I don't know what number this is, but it's a very small one. As you can see, it's just a small slanted brush. And I'm going to want to get all of the water I can out of it, all the paint I can out of it, because I was painting earlier and I hadn't changed my water out. Let's see what happens. You want to start it out with the tip, turn it around, and make the tip. You're going to have to redo you'll have to do this in layers. So we just go and take another one. Start with the tip in, turn it around, pull it back in, just like that. And we're going to go all around the daisy doing that. I think I'm getting some of the yellow in there. I don't want the yellow. Only want the white right now. So I'm going to start at the tip, turn it around, and put it where I want it. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to do the same thing right next to it. Now there's going to be different layers for this daisy. Different layers. as you go around. You'll do 2 or 3 layers of petals. But this is just going around the daisy. Now I'm doing it the reverse way. I'm putting the point out and bringing the point back in. Point being, you can do this a bunch of different ways. And we're just going to go all around 360 around this little daisy. And this little brush is a really good size for the petal. And that's what you need to find, is a brush that's a good size for that petal. I really don't remember what size this is. You know, I've used it so much that I don't even know what the number is anymore. All right, so we're going all the way around. Just like that. And it makes a beautiful, beautiful daisy. Now that's just your first layer. And you want to go ahead and dry that. You want to make sure that this is right up there close to that as it can be. Yeah. Okay. So you want to stop and dry that one. And you can see already it's taking shape. You can see the bottom, that little cup thing makes the middle stand out 3D. Of course, it's not done yet. You're still working on it. We are still working on it. Okay, so I want all the yellow out of there. I just want the white. Okay, so now I'm going to go back around and I'm going to darken these. It's your next layer. You got to darken them because one layer is not going to be enough. So just go right around. After you've dried the first time, just go in there. Then just go back after yourself and make sure that they're all touching the center. You'll have to do that with the point. Turn the point around just like I'm doing and make sure they all touch the center, because daisies come out from the center. And they brighten up. Once you do a second coat, they brighten up very nicely. This doesn't take long. The second coat doesn't take as long as the first coat. Then go back and make sure that they're all touching where they should be to your center. When you don't want to lose your center, we can go back and put that in if we lose it a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to go put the in-between layers in. We need to dry that. We need to dry it. challenging part of this little picture is probably going to get the background right. Just playing with your background the way you want it. Now come right in between the petals, making some longer, some shorter. Most petals are not the same size. Come right in between. You want them right in between. Making sure that you get a good amount of paint on those petals. Make them pretty. Go right in between. And repaint what you've painted before. It's okay. Go around. It's going to take no time to do the second and third layers. It just doesn't take much time at all because you've got the first layer laid out, so you can just kind of zoom right through it. And it will take 2 or 3 layers to get this white on top of your background. So don't worry about that. It's going to take you some time. I love painting nature. I loved painting what God has created for us in this world. It's beautiful. Okay, so I think I'd like these on this side to be out a little bit more, so I'm going to extend them while I've got wet paint to match the other side. There we go. And I see one petal right there that needs a little bit of extra paint. Make sure that each one connects. And then you want to dry it. So now we're going to want to, let's try this one. Now we're going to want to get back into that yellow. Don't know. I'm going to try it with this brush. This is this is a little square brush. And I'm just going to use this to go back and put that line back in there for my yellow. And we're going to go and put some green in here in just a minute. Some dark green in here so it'll pop. And you can just tap, 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 tap in here if you like to give it some. There we go. Something like that. And then you'll need your little liner brush. And get back in the yellow ochre. Go right around there again, that yellow ochre makes that little daisy middle stand up. Makes it stand up. There it is. Now we're going to dry that little center. There's a lot of drying in this process. But you can see how pretty that comes up. Looks just like a daisy and it's beautiful. So you're going to need some green. And let's see, what kind of green? I like this one back. That's not green, that's black. Don't want black. There we are. Some green in here. And again, actually you'll want the little, this one here. This one's the little dot brush for detail, little tiny thing up in there. Can you see it? That would be the best brush for this. Make sure there's no water on your brush and just put you some dots in here, just random. And watch that daisy center come alive. Now you may have to go back over some of these dots after it dries. But you know, daisy centers are filled with these little greenish things in the center. They're dot, 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 dot everywhere. All right, let's dry that. Now there, the big one is done. How pretty is that? This looks like a beautiful daisy. Now this one is going to be a half daisy. So we're just going to put the petals onto the half and maybe some coming down here. So we need our red brush again, the one that we don't know the name of it, but it's just like this one here, the small one. We're going to use that same brush and we're going to get back in the white and we're going to start making the petals. This time we're going to make smaller petals, not big, because this one's just coming out. Okay, you want to start by making them equidistant apart so that you don't get the pinwheel effect. Make sure it comes down to that yellow. And we're going to do a couple down like that. And we're going to open this one up a bit because that looks pretty. And I'm going to go back and connect these to our circle. Just like we did before, making sure it's all connected to the circle. We want to do that. Okay, so that's one layer. We're going to dry it just like we did before. Dry each layer. Okay, so now we're going to do the second layer on that. Remember, right over the top of the first, just like we did on the other ones. Just brightening it up, making it nice and bright and pretty, like a daisy. Daisies are so bright and beautiful. I love daisies in the summer. It's one of my favorite flowers. They're just so beautiful, the way they stand up so bright and tall, and they last a long time. I don't know if you've ever bought daisies in the store before. They last forever. They really do. They last a long time. All right, let's go ahead and dry that layer. Now we're going to do the in-between layers. Right up in between, just like we did before. Bring it right down in there. That's right, right in between. Make sure you got a good place to go. You want to go right in between these layers. There we are, just like that. With this real pretty one down here. All right. So we need to dry that. Since this background is such an abstract background, I didn't take much time in showing you. I didn't take any time in showing you how to do it. Just X's all over with green and two different colors of green, or some yellow in it would be fine. And maybe some little oranges here and there, maybe a little orange down here. Whatever you feel like doing. And then go circular. You want brush strokes. You do want brush strokes. So don't be afraid. Don't try to cover the whole canvas one color. You want this abstract. You want it to look just like it's a bush in the background. So, all right, now we're going to go back and go over those, the in-between ones, for our second coat. Here we go. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I love daisies. All right, get the little round brush. This kind here. And get into the yellow again, because we're going to go back and put another coat on top of that yellow. Maybe mix in a little bit of white with it to get it to spread. Sometimes mixing white in there with it will help it to spread. Yep, there we go. That helps. Want to make sure it all connects. And like I say, you can do the dot, dot, dot in the middle like that would be fine. Just as long as you get up into those petals. Need to get up into those petals. Make sure they're all connected. All right? Now we need to rinse out, and we're going to get into the yellow ochre. And we're going to do the bottom of this one, just like that. Another C on the bottom. This one's not so much curved, it's kind of straight, but it's going to pop just the same as the other one did. And this is the secret of making those daisies pop. There we go. It really works. So let's dry that part. And we'll go back into that yellow ochre and do it one last time to make it nice and smooth. There we go. That's what you're looking for. And then get back into the green. We can do it with this one here or the other one. And just put some little dots here and there. Because it's just full of those little green dots. Now, keep the round brush. Keep that round brush, and we're going to use it to make a stem going down. These are our stems right here. Going right down, straight down, and a real pretty leaf. And this one has a longer stem and a leaf out to this side. Now, on this picture, I used a little white paint with the green to get some contrast because it was a little bit hard to see the dark green. So we're going to come right up underneath here. And make us a stem. We're going to make sure it's connected all the way up into that, very carefully, flower. So it looks like it's coming from the flower. And then you want to make your pretty leaf. Daisies always have the prettiest leaves. Paint that in. And that just pops there for you. See how that pops? Be artistic with your leaf, if you can, because it does make a difference. Then go back in here and get, I tell you what, we need the little tiny brush for this. This one here, that little one. And what we're going to do is come back in there. We're going to do wet on wet, which means we're going to paint inside the wet, and we're going to do just a small little vein. Not going all the way, but just a small little vein. So I got a little bit too wide here, so I'm going to go back in that green and cover it up. And I might even give myself a highlight while I'm at it. Makes it all pretty when you do a highlight. Remember, paintings are made up of highlights and lowlights, so you want to be able to be sure to do that. So now we're going to do the stem. First of all, we're going to dry that so we don't get our arm in it. All right. I think I might go back and put a little bit of dark in here. I might. See what happens. I love experimenting and when I get an idea and see if it works out or not. It's all right. Kind of did. I might want to take a little bit of that yellow even and put it in here. Because sometimes leaves have a bit of yellow, and that would complement the yellow in the daisy there. So let's do that. Dry it up. we do that so that we don't get our hand or arm in it, our sleeve in it. We don't want to do that. So we get some of the green. And we're going to make another stem. Now this is a longer stem. So you can do it one of two ways. You can do it long and straight like this one is, which is fine. A lot of them grow that way. Or you could try to do a swirly, where it goes like in an S shape type thing. Either way would look pretty. I think I'm going to go for the long stem. I think I'm going to go for the long stem. I like that. All right, a little bit more green going here. And we want to do the leaf, and I'm going to put mine to the other side. And I'm going to try making this leaf a little darker. And while I've got a little dark paint, I'm going to put a little bit of shadow on the stem going up right up there. All right, with this one, since I've made the leaf darker, I'm going to use a lighter vein. A little bit of a lighter vein. We're going to see how that works. All right. There you are, the two leaves. One's a little lighter, the other's a little darker. and you can see what I've done. So this is the painting. You start with the background. It's going to take you the most time doing the background. And then you put in your little centers first. You draw them with chalk so you know where you want to place them. And then you go out from the center with your white. And remember, you dry it after each application, after each layer. So you don't get your hand in the middle of it or get your sleeve on it, which I'm famous for. But don't stress over the background. It's abstract. This one has no reds or oranges in it. This one has a lot of reds and oranges in it. So it's all according to what you'd like to do, because art is supposed to be enjoyable and fun. So you do it the way you want to do it. But this is the way it comes out looking, and it's perfectly beautiful. And it's one of my best sellers. So I hope you enjoy it. Maybe you'll find a place for it in your home for the summer. Maybe in the bathroom, maybe in a hallway, a pretty little place that you can put it. I highly recommend that you go with the thicker side if you can. And paint all four sides. Always paint all four sides. But this, remember I told you this thicker one doesn't get a frame. It hangs on the way it is. So, whereas this one here could have a frame if we wanted it to. So, that's our daisy lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.